We're back for round 2 here at the Kingdom of Bahrain, BDRC. We are poised to try to reclaim our world record with the Pro Import. Between round 1 and round 2, some of our compatriots in the States were able to better the record to 575. And so that sort of set the challenge, or set the tone for the challenge for us to try to go and get that record back during this upcoming event. So we're obviously shooting for doing that. We've been holding back on some development stuff that we've been doing over the year with the engine and with the car in general. And so we thought, let's just implement that and see if that gives us another advantage. And instead of continuing to run the stuff that we've been running all year, why not make the change now and see if we can get a jump start on next year? So that's the plan. Whether that pays off or not, we don't know. We'll have to find out. The RCF Super Street car, the goal with that car is to try to just pick it up a little bit from where we left off in round 1. We ran really well, and hopefully we can run well at this round 2. It would be great if by the end of this event we could put a 4.0 second elapsed time up on the board. I think that would really make EK happy, you know, boost the morale of the team and all of that kind of stuff. The small 86, as we call it, is sort of further along in its development of parts for the big 86. We had the plan of making those two cars as close to the same as they could be for the categories that they run. And so we started that at the last event. And some of the things that we learned from that car and some of the parts that we tried that seemed to work on that car are now going to be used on the Pro 86.
Pro Boost project, the RCF Pro Mod. When we started this project, we wanted to try something new and do it with a clutch. Nobody's done it with this kind of power before. And that's one thing that we wanted to try. That's one thing that EK allows us to do is try different approaches to make these cars faster, to do other things that people in the world never have done. And basically what we found is the drivetrain components kept failing. We kept breaking differentials and input shafts and stuff like that. The engine just basically proved to be too powerful for that combination. So we went back to a tried and true combination that we have used on many different things back in the States. You know, a couple of our teammates run NHRA, Pro Mod, and so on and so forth. So we went to some stuff that we already know works. So we changed to an automatic, a 3-speed automatic with a torque converter. And it is already showing amazing potential. Just, you know, we knew what it was going to do. We just need to get a couple runs under our belt, get a baseline, and you know, show what we can do with that.
Ten years ago, I don't think that we even considered the fact that we might have any kind of recognition from anyone other than maybe the people that were at the track the day that we happened to run. You know, a decade later, to have people all over the world and people that we respect in racing and that we strive to be like in racing, to have those people say something about our team like they're impressed with how we do something, that's a huge accomplishment, a huge pat on the back. I think EK would like to be recognized on a global level for excellence in racing. He really wants to try to raise the level of drag racing to a new height. So it's not just about going out and setting a record. It's not just about going out and winning a race. It's about doing it in a way that showcases the talent and also showcases technology and the preparedness and, you know, the management of the team all of that adds into it. There's not one piece that he's after. He's sort of after the whole, the whole piece of the whole pie, not just one piece. I would say that's his vision. I don't know when he decides he's going to have had enough with racing, but I think when he looks back on his career in racing, I think that's probably one of the things that he would be the most proud of. And and it shows because he gives people opportunity and gives us the necessary, not only resources, but the necessary freedom and the autonomy to be able to make the decisions that we need to make to do the best job we can do. So, he's a really unique individual to work for. I'm really proud to be able to call him my friend, and there's no other team I would rather work for than this team. But there's a special place in my heart for Bahrain. Some of it has to do with it being the first place in the Middle East that I went. Some of it most definitely has to do with the people that I'm here working for and that I'm working with. But just in general, but Bahrain's it's practically a second home to me now. Pro 86, we had set the world record of 577 earlier this year here in Bahrain, and since then, our record has been beaten. And it's now 575, and it was a fellow competitor out of Puerto Rico that was able to turn that time in the United States not too long ago, as a matter of fact. And so our focus for round 2 and the foreseeable future is to not only to try to make the car quick for the 8th mile, because the racing series over here is 8th mile, but also to try to reclaim our title in a quarter mile. It's proving to be more difficult than we thought. But part of the reason that's the case is because we've decided to try a lot of new parts that we have been testing and developing over the year. Any good race car is a combination of gearing, power management, tires, chassis, balance. All of these things add together to make a race car great. And when you upset the balance, guess what? The race car doesn't act like it's supposed to. This is EKanooRacing. We don't take the power level back down. So instead, we're trying other ways to give the clutch the best chance to work with what we've got. And probably after this race, or maybe after the next race, Eric will design a whole new clutch that will work properly with what we're using. Again, we managed to better our 8th mile personal best speed. And as a matter of fact, it's a world record, 6-cylinder world record, even 203 miles an hour at the 8th. Almost 204, went 203.90 miles per hour at the 8th mile. The best number before that was our 202. And now we've been almost 254 miles per hour in a quarter mile, which is pretty phenomenal when you think about it. So to go from something that was capable of going, 252 all the way to 254, that's a pretty good jump. We had some difficulty keeping the drivetrain together in round 1. There's no question about that. Instead of continuing down that direction for now, although we think it's quicker, we decided to try a more conventional style drivetrain, which effectively means that we've changed from a clutch to a torque converter. Because there are more converter-based turbo cars in drag racing right now, it's easy to pick a combination of parts that we know will work right versus develop parts that we think are going to be way better. So in the interest of figuring out the car and some other things, we decided to go that route. We put them in, and it paid off in spades. Immediately, the car started to respond. It showed the same promise that it showed with the clutch in it, and we've made some really excellent runs. And we came in here on the second day of testing, went 382 right out of the gate, then 379, then 377, then 374. Then we got curious just how something that would run that quick to the 8th mile might go in a quarter mile, and so we decided to try our luck at it, and lo and behold, we rip off a 5:54 elapsed time in a quarter mile at over 272 miles per hour, which happens to be the quickest pass of 2016 for any door slammer of any kind. It's the new record for a door slammer in the Middle East, both ends, the ET and the speed. It's the 3rd quickest car with doors in the history of drag racing. It's about the 4th or 5th fastest pass in the history of drag racing, again, for a car in that category. I mean, it might not have been a grand slam because that would have been the quickest and fastest of all, but it was absolutely a home run. Look, it was a very well respected, put us on the map, I can tell you that. If we didn't have everyone's attention before, we certainly have their attention now. The Lexus RCF Super Street is performing amazingly. We were able to identify some problems with the control of the vehicle at the last race here, round 1. We corrected those problems in the middle of testing, and from that point on, that car has really changed direction. And you know what? I have to give credit to the guys working on the car, Jamie Miller, Josh Ledford, and Tim Davis, because the bottom line is those guys brought to my attention where the problems were. I made those changes and instantly the car changed direction. It went from being very inconsistent to being one of our more consistent cars. So it's really all because of those guys that car is doing what it's doing. And you know what? They are raising the bar a little bit at a time. We started off here, this race, running exactly the same number that we ran when we left here after they won round 1 in Super Street with that car. We ran the same number, and that was 424, and we've gone 423. We've now gone 415, 410 twice in a row. The guys have this thing figured out now, and they're able to control it in the way that they know how. And they're the best there are in the world at running that type of a car. So I have no doubt they're going to do something spectacular with it.
So coming into qualifying today, you know, especially with the Super Street RCF, you know, we kind of have one of the top tier teams over here as far as that's concerned, and that's nothing against anybody else over here. We just have a lot of knowledge and talent on our team, and great equipment, you know, top-notch power from Pro Racing. You know, and we did that. We pulled that off.
Our qualify started, looks like we had to pedal it, went out, spun just a little bit, Khalid got back in it, went a 427. Then we come up for round 2. I was hoping the track would be a little better, but it ran late to the night with some dew, and we went out and spun. We ended up still maintaining to be #1 qualifier, which puts us 7 times in a row now to accomplish that.
The Lexus RCF Pro Mod, that's a different story. The Pro Mod category is very, very tough. The Pro Nitrous cars, the blower cars, everybody else, you know, Pro Mod racing is one of the toughest categories on the planet to race in. And there's so much talent over here on every single team. The best in the world here, NHRA champions, so on and so forth. So that one's a little tough. You know, we qualified #6. We hope to do better. We got lost along the way, but we found ourselves, and we pulled it off on the last run. So we're doing well with that one. coming into this round, after those guys set that record in the States, you know, that's something that is really hard to achieve. You know, but I knew that we would come in here with the changes that we've made, the things that we've discovered, and we would get it back. I knew that it was something that was really tough, that was going to take a lot of tries and a lot of attempts and a lot of different things being changed. But deep down inside, I really felt like we would get it, and we have this team. We always pull together, and we get it done. And that's something that's just really special about this team. Doesn't matter what it is, we all help each other out, and we make it happen. It doesn't matter. On the record run, 575, we went 379 to the 8th, which I believe got us into the show. So, you know, that's always good, especially a 6-cylinder running with the best on the planet. You know, all the big boy V8s, like they always say. So, you know, we're well on our way to doing good for this round.
With the Pro 86, as I discussed, we made some changes to the car, and we had some struggles trying to mate all those things together and get everything to work like it should. And anytime you take a combination that's balanced and you upset that balance, you have to go through a little bit of gyration to get it back, and that's what it took. And you know what, at the end of the day, as the track started to come around to a surface we were more used to, we found that we could put the setup back closer to what it used to be, and it was working. So that culminated in a great 575 with we were able to reclaim the world import record, and that was amazing. I mean, that was a huge accomplishment. And I think we found that there's more potential left in the car. Hopefully we can tap into that potential next round.
The entire world watching what we're doing, whether it's from Australia, from Europe, America, you know, everybody knows that we're forced to be reckoned with, and that's really a special thing. And that's something that, you know, in 10, 15, 20 years down the road that I'm never going to forget. I'm going to have all these trophies and memories and, you know, basically family members at this point. You know, it's just something that you don't come across too often.
Hey, what was half track? 79. Ha! What was the speed? 402. 375 with a 7. Yeah! I'll do a live. I'll do a Facebook live. I'll do a Facebook live. Are you sure? Because they went twice now. Yeah, they did it twice. They did do it twice.
Oh, I don't know on there if you can go live.
I don't think
As a person, you can.
Let's stick it on live.
There's
بعدين حط على
live. You can do it.
I can do it live.
Wait, let me do it first. Oh, it's there, right?
What was the Let's do it live and get on. I'm in check Facebook. They saw it live.
Let's go get
No way they didn't see that. Somebody for sure.
on Facebook?
I'm not.
Monday.
You white. We knew what we had to do. You know, we went that 77 almost a year ago, back in January, will be a year ago. And, you know, we kind of put the car back to running mid 80s, and making it live, and not trying to improve on the record, because there was some distance between where we were and the number 2 guy, and we kind of we got caught, not really paying attention, and they ran a really good number, and what's cool about what they're doing is they're running that number consistently. They've got a consistent car. So we came back and we wanted to kind of put the car back to the way it was a year ago and try to get after it. And that's what we did. I mean, we tried some different things. We had quite a bit of time this week. We tried different tire combinations and stuff like that, just to get that off of our list of things to try. We know what works, what don't work, but we pretty much just ended up back where we were last January with everything. Anyways, it kind of spoke for itself. It went to 75 with some mechanical troubles with the transmission. So.
Super Street Lexus RCF. Testing went great, qualifying went really well. That car's really coming into its own. Qualified number 1 again. That car's qualified number 1 at every race it's ever entered. And these guys, Josh, Jamie, and Tim, really put a beautiful string of runs together during eliminations today. And in the final round, we took out our opponent 411 to 415. It was a really close race by a really good team, and it was amazing. It put our driver Khalid Mohammed on the podium, at the top position, and that was definitely some icing on the cake. I would say that the Pro RCF is certainly on its way to becoming a contender in the 8th mile, but this week also proved to us that we don't quite know what we're doing with that car yet. We need more experience with that car to really understand its nuances and get it figured out. We are improving, but we were thrown a couple of curveballs, and because we don't have a nice home base for the car, we haven't made hundreds of runs, we don't have a core set of adjustments to make that we know will work. We're having to feel the car out a little bit, learn the car, and learn the track at the same time. But I expect big things from that car in round 3 in just a couple weeks. So that's the exciting part of that car. The little 86 is really working well as a test bed for the Pro 86. We're able to learn lots of things with the tune-up, lots of things with the engine setup, and test parts that we can slowly ramp up to full speed with, because that car doesn't need the same power level that the Pro 86 needs. So the little 86 is working like we want. The Pro RCF is on its way. It still needs some time. The Pro 86 is very close to doing something spectacular again. And the Super Street RCF, what can you say about that? It doesn't get any better than qualifying number 1 and winning the race. So that one is right on target. So we'll see what happens when we come back here in a couple weeks. We're gonna go home, pour over some data, look for some improvements that we can make, and try and implement them at the next race and come back better than ever in 2017.
we have a lot of knowledge here on this team, and it's kind of expected of us to do well with that car. Come on, Tim. Now I'm gonna be on. I'm over here doing the interview. Now I'm gonna be on the blooper reel. Well, you're not. You can't leave yet. Okay, hold on one. Well, calm down. Oh, Timmy.
What are we talking about today?
We're gonna talk about testing, qualification, world record.
Theory of evolution.
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
Hey, man. Always on your ass. Sitting down.
Man, to the people that follow us on Facebook and Instagram and watch the live feed and send us messages, man, keep that stuff up. That's what keeps us going. When we're struggling and we're trying to find a way to fix a problem or solve a problem, one thing that keeps us motivated is people giving us encouragement, and we really, really appreciate that. It means a great deal to not only me, but the other members of the team, and especially to EK. So keep it up. We really like all the responses worldwide. We're trying to raise the level of drag racing in globally, and we're also trying to put import racing back on the map, and we're a small piece of that puzzle, but there's lots of teams contending for these sort of records all around the world. It's a really exciting time for import drag racing. We're excited to be a part of it, and thank you guys for keeping up with us. Like I said, keep those posts coming on Instagram, Facebook, whatever else. We really appreciate it.